What is going on, you guys? It is Jay. So I have some extra time this week, so I wanted to upload a couple of videos. Um, the base is going well. I'm actually going to do a speed build of this particular layout because this thing is freaking awesome. All right, let me see. I think I showed you guys a defense log maybe in one or two videos ago. I'm not sure. Let me see, where were we at? Okay, yeah, so I started somewhere right around here. So 11 days ago, and this is my defense log. So whole lot of snipes, very little actual loss, as you'll see as I'm scrolling through here. Most of the time, I only lost one set of storages. So I think I showed you this one from this big red Y, and how I left a hole in the middle of the base. But you see here, double-digit heroes. This one actually won. The guy didn't even get the town hall. He just went for the attack. I guess he was confident he was going to get it. And this guy zapped my lightning. This is a town hall 10. Look at this clown, right? I couldn't believe this guy. He had a level 25 king. And look at this dude's base. Like, why would you zap the DE? Really? Like, he could have leveled my base. I don't know why. Anyway, so where was that guy? All right, so that is the only real Dark Elixir loss I've had at all. So this thing's awesome for protecting your Dark Elixir, and I think just resources in general. Here I got go wiped by a Town Hall 9, and I mean, I only lost, again, I think 2 sets of storages, which I think is pretty good, quite honestly. So I'm going to do a speed build on this base and show you guys. Actually, I'll just do a separate video for the speed build, but this base is awesome. So if you're Town Hall 9 and you're farming, which most of you probably are, this is a great design to use. Again, the credits I will put in the link in the video description for the guys that put it on the Supercell forum and then modified it. So you see I've got almost 72,000 Dark Elixir. My plan has been to do golems, to do my minions to level 5, and then I'll have, 20 grand towards my next Archer Queen level, which would be 35. But I'm kind of thinking at this point, maybe I should just do my golems to level 3 now. One, because I do have enough Dark Elixir to do it, and two, that is probably more beneficial. Certainly it's going to be more beneficial in wars, but I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I'm not pushing. So if I was trophy pushing, I would say I need to get the minions up, right? So I can max my Lunian attack, because that's probably what I will farm and raid with once I decide to push cups, which is going to be a while. I'm not, my base is not nearly good enough to withstand attacks in higher leagues. So that's why I hang out in the 1900s, because I really don't get messed with too much. So you definitely get to keep a lot of your resources, and the farming is great. Which leads me to my next topic of efficient farming. Okay, I had a couple of discussions this week in my clan, and usually if the active guys are on, will say, hey, where's the loot? Who's finding loot at a specific cup range, whatever. And I made a comment. I said, hey, it's still good at 1950. In a little bit over an hour, I've gotten about 700K of each. And then somebody else got on and they said, how are you doing that? And it kind of blew my mind, because I guess I just take for granted how I farm and the things that I do to be able to farm quickly. So I'm just going to scroll down. And these aren't all great. Some of these, like this loss here, you gotta lose some cups to stay in a certain range. So for the low price of 6 archers, 2 minions, and 1 barbarian, I was able to drop 30 cups and pick up a little bit of resources instead of just sniping the town hall or dropping 1 barb and leaving. This is efficient because you're using so few troops for the return that you get, right? But most of these my 50% raids are collector bases, right? Dead bases. So there's next to no chance that the guy's going to revenge you. Number one. So you're not gonna lose a lot of trophies if you are interested in keeping them. I'm not really concerned about it. I just try to stay within a certain range. But I don't use my whole army every time. I do sometimes, and you'll see some of these. I have been using my full army. I just, I have 108 each archer and barbarians, and then I have a couple minions in there just because sometimes you can get a freebie building, or drop 2 of them on a storage that's unprotected once you've dropped a lot of your barch troops. So it's just a little bit easier. But you can see, for the most part, I'm getting good raids. And if you look at the time hacks, so here we have this top one, 11:47, about 20 minutes prior to that, my second attack, and then 20 minutes prior to that, the third, 20 minutes, or what's that, almost 30 minutes prior to that, the fourth, and then 20 minutes, 30 minutes. So about every 20 to 30 minutes, I'm able to keep raiding. So if you're finding, bases that have 500 to 600K loot, which a lot of these are pretty close to, or with the loot bonus are pushing that level, it's very easy to farm, $1 million in resources, $1.5 million resources in like a 2-hour block. All right. So if you're getting online and you're raiding once and then you go offline while your troops are cooking and you maybe get raided, maybe you don't, that is not efficient. Okay. So you guys need to dedicate a little bit of time if you really are truly farming, right? You can't just do it sporadically. You need, like I said, I try to farm in like 2-hour blocks during the week. So I've got, I don't know, if you got a half-hour lunch, it's not going to work. But if you have a longer lunchtime when you're at work, jump on there for 90 minutes, okay? It costs you 10 gems to boost your heroes, because once they're down, that's 40 minutes. You don't get to use them every raid. And you don't have to. I have been using my Archer Queen a lot just to touch up the last, maybe grab the last few things off of a base. But you don't always have to use your heroes, okay? So that, boosting them, that's a personal choice. I choose to use the gems to do it because it makes my raiding more efficient. And you can see by my storages and, if you've been watching the series, how quickly along I'm moving the base. And I'm not really trying, like, I have not been to a point yet, because my upgrades are still pretty cheap, where I'm like, oh my God, I don't have enough money to get, item X. Like, I was on the Supercell forum yesterday and some guy was like, I can't get the money for the expos. How do I get expos? And I'm thinking to myself, if you can't farm 5 million and hold on to it in like a week's worth of time, you don't know how to farm. Okay? So tier 1 troops, right? So cheap troops, barbs, arch, maybe you want to do bag, so you use your goblins, or you bam with minions. I do a little bit of bam sometimes because barch is kind of stale. Don't use your spells. All right, I carry 4 lightning spells with my army, but I very rarely use them. You see, I don't have any spells, I don't think, in my last 10 attacks. Haven't even used them. I'll use 2 on a mortar if a mortar is covering a lot of mines and pumps, or a couple of storages that are easily accessible, because obviously, mortars they're gonna wipe out your archers. And as you can see, I've still got 2 days before my level 6 archers are done, so I'm still using level 5 archers and level 6 barbs. So sometimes it's worth the 40 to 60,000 in elixir that you would spend on spells if you're looking at raiding another 100,000 for that. So it's all about what you get for what you're getting in return for what you're putting out. Like my first raid today, this was a Town Hall 7. All right, what did I use? I used 154 troops total, right? So with the loot bonus, that's like 135,000 gold and about 100,000 elixir. Okay, so let's do the math on this. 83 archers, 71 barbs. So my barbs are, I think, 100? 150. Okay, so that's, about 10,000, somewhere around 10,000. And then archers are 200, so that's 16,000. So for 26,000 in elixir, right, I got about 100. So I got about 4 times return on my elixir. And then obviously, I think I might have nexted maybe 6 or 8 times. I mean, it came up pretty quick. So, don't always bypass what might be half full mines and pumps, or, in this case, a Town Hall 7, right? Because of the 50% loot penalty. This guy, see, I mean, this base is a joke, right? Okay, if I was a Town Hall 8, for example, this base would have been offering 222,000 gold and 144,000 elixir, which is good, right? Obviously, that's a better payday. But I'm not picky. Like I said, again, this is about the most efficient method of farming. So if I take this, right, if I would have passed this up, knowing I could beat this, it was a couple of cups, so I don't really care about, how many cups I win off of it, but this was a guarantee. I know I wasn't going to use all of my troops, so I'm going to get my next raid going in about 15 minutes afterwards, probably. So that's why I hit it. And that's what you guys should be doing too. If there are, some bases where the guys, their collectors are like way out here or on the left, for example, right? I got this one over here at 9 o'clock. There's no defenses, right? My closest defenses don't even touch that. So you could literally pick that off with one barb, one arch, whatever you're using. Right? So bases like that are freebies, guys. Even if you lose, 20 cups, but you pick up 150,000 gold and elixir, that's worth losing the cups, right? So you need to focus on one or the other. Cups are resources. Obviously, if you're farming, it's resources. Cheap armies, guys. I cannot stress that enough. I'm watching people that are using giants and wall breakers and wizards, right, to 3-star a dead base for the same amount of resources that I'm getting, right? That's insane. That's just asinine. Why would you waste that money when you can use a cheaper army to do the same thing? And it cooks faster. Guys are like, I don't know how you do it. It's easy, okay? When I go on a raid, right, my camps are full right now, okay? Camps are full. So queue up your next army, right? So for me, I know that's 27 of both of my barbs and archers in all 4 barracks. And then if I use the minions, that's easy to spit 2 of those out, so I don't ever queue those up. But if I queue these up and then we go hunting, right? Okay, so those are going to start cooking, and they start spitting them out once I start attacking another village. And you guys should know this. I'm sure you know this. If you don't, hey, this tip is like gold, right? It's like some people queue up a shit ton of wall breakers in their barracks when they go offline to hide elixir from somebody from being able to raid it, right? That's fine. I don't do that because I don't, I think there's enough out there to be farmed that you don't have to. But if you do that, that's one way to help save some of your resources. So, just think about it. Okay, so here we are. My troops are already starting to cook, right? And maybe I'll get lucky and I'll find one that I can hit while we're on here live, but probably not. So anyway, so you're nexting and blah, 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 right? And let's say you find one and you start attacking. That's about 3 minutes that your troops are going to be cooking before you get back to the base. Okay, so I was talking about hitting, dead bases for less. I probably wouldn't do this one, for example. You guys, I'm guessing you understand how to tell how full a mine and collector and storage is, right? Your dark elixir drill, this guy, right? His dark elixir drill is full, 100% full, and that's a level 3 drill. So 75% of 420. There's probably about 300 dark elixir available in there. I'm going to go ahead and get off this space. So, okay. Now, this guy has empty mines and pumps, right? So if you look at his gold mine right here, the tray to the right of the cart, there's nothing in it. That's how you know what's in there. I'm assuming you guys know that. I usually use the elixir pumps as a gauge. You see how you see just the pink ring in the bottom of this? Those things are empty, right? So those would not be good mines and pumps to pick off on a raid. You would want to look for storages that have a lot of gold. So let me see if I can come across one that's got something decent to give you an example. Okay. Okay, so see the difference between the elixir collectors here, right? So the one over by the archer towers and the cannon, you can see the pink ring. But if you look at the 2 right below the wizard tower, they got a little more in them, right? So those haven't been emptied. So he's probably it's probably less than 20% of what those can pump out, which off the top of my head I can't remember, but not very much in there, right? So full mines and pumps are what you want to go after, and cues that a base is dead, right? Obviously, this guy has no league badge, so he hasn't even attacked in the past. What are we going on? 10 days now, something like that, since the trophy league restarted. Right, his expos do have strings. You'll see, so the expos are loaded. And does he have infernos? No infernos. Okay, so you know how to if you can deduce if an inferno is on or off. Let me see if I'll show you one. But it's got the flame in it, right? So pretty easy. But this is just stuff you guys should be looking for when you're barching, because it's efficient, right? You don't want to attack live bases unless the loot is really good, because there's a good chance you're going to get revenged, right? Most of my attacks that I get are not revenges. You know, they're just guys that are out farming, and just like me, they attack the base. I very rarely revenge people. I usually I'll scroll through my revenge or my defense log just to see if there's anybody that might be holding some loot in their mines and pumps, because they haven't been online in a while. But I don't really revenge people too much. All right, well, I'm not going to waste too much time here. I can't show you the Inferno. If you really need to know that, you can just Google the images and figure it out. So that's probably going to do it for this video. I'm up to over 15 minutes already. So I'm going to do a war video also this week. We just started a war, which will be tomorrow. And I have a base it's a little different than a lot of people have been using. Defended pretty well. The last war took 3 attacks to get 2 stars on me, which I thought was pretty good since I'm a low-level Town Hall 9. So I will do a war video with some defenses, and I will try to show you guys some attacks. We've got a rather large clan, so I should be able to give you some good, not necessarily how-tos, but show you some good execution of war strategies. So that's it for now, guys. I will see you in the next video. Thanks.
Okay, so I lost a bet this morning in the clan chat to my leader, Vinny, and my sentence was to do a face reveal and tell you guys that I was wrong. I thought that the Friend in Need achievement I thought your war clan castle donations counted towards that, and they do not. So I was wrong, and here you go, Vinny. And the distortion is because you always make fun of my voice, bro. Wow.